Hello and welcome back to OJS for Editors. In this video, we'll complete our overview of the proofreading process. Just to review, the previous lesson showed how the section editor assigns the proofreader to the submission, requested proofreading by the author, and how the author communicated her revisions to both the section editor and the proofreader. In today's lesson, we'll see how the section editor, the proofreader, and the layout editor complete the proofreading process. First, we'll be looking at the section editor acknowledging the author's work, how the proofreader proofreads the galleys, how the proofreader notifies the layout editor and the editor, how the section editor acknowledges the proofreader, how the layout editor corrects the galleys and notifies the editor, and how the editor acknowledges the layout editor. Wow, that seems like a lot of ground to cover, but once you run through it a few times, it actually becomes very straightforward. Okay, let's start with the section editor, Kafwi's perspective. Joe?
At this point, it's important to acknowledge the author Fatima's work proofing the galleys using the mail icon in the proofreading area. This also signals to her that there's nothing left for her to do but await the publication of her paper.
Okay, now the proofreader's steps, once he receives the notification from the author, are basically the same as hers.
When Zolani logs in, he'll see Fatima's submission in his active submissions queue. He'll know that it's time to proofread her paper because he was CC'd on the email from Fatima to the section editor, but he can also see under status that the submission is in the post-author stage of proofreading. This can be helpful in staying organized when he has many submissions to proofread. Clicking the title of the article, he can review the proofing instructions and can open the galley as Fatima did by clicking View Proof. He then enters his recommended corrections in the Proofreading Corrections comment box. He makes sure to save before clicking Close. Finally, he notifies the editor and layout editor that proofreading is complete.
Kafwi's now received the notification from Zolani that he's finished proofreading the submission.
Now Kafwi will use OJS to acknowledge Zolani's work and to request that the final changes be made to the galleys by the layout editor, Quadjo. She can send the thank you by clicking the mail icon under Acknowledge in the proofreading area, and can send the request for the final edits to the galleys using the mail icon in Step 3 under Request.
Once Quadjo receives the request from the section editor, he makes the final revisions to the galleys.
When Quadjo logs in and goes to the active submission page, he can confirm under Status that the submission has been proofread. On the editing page, you can see the author's and proofreader's corrections by opening the Proofreading Corrections box. Quadjo then makes these corrections in the Word file version of the galleys. He would then make a new PDF galley and upload it by going to Edit and replacing the file. He could also simply upload the galley and then delete the old one. However, if he uses the second method, it's crucial that he delete the old galley. Otherwise, when the journal is published, there will be a link to both galleys. He can confirm that he's uploaded the correct version by clicking View Proof and inspecting the document. When he's finished, Quadro emails the section editor to let her know the galley is ready for publication by clicking the mail icon under Complete. Once he's sent this email, the proofreading process is complete.
Now Kafwi's work overseeing the review and editing stages is nearly complete.
At this stage, she thanks Quadro for his work as layout editor using the mail icon under Acknowledge.
Thanks, Joe. Once she's thanked Quadro, the only task remaining will be to schedule the article for publication in an issue, which we'll see in the next lesson.
Ilele lo benela